the evenings are incomplete without you. Tuned in. This is Randy in Tema. Surely Eben Dunyami is there. Esther Efuajemfua Dakuma. Bride faculty, I see you. Yawo, you are in Achimota. NS in Taifa. Raymond, you're in London. Raymond, which part of London? Come on, what's up? Lorenza Facha tuned in Sarom signboard. Frederick Frimpong Bafi. OUBSA. Shem. Rose Barbecue. Lennox. Where's Yogi? Yogi and family in Canada, where are you? West Hills Mall, Mami Ajwa, I haven't seen you. Eugenia Cincinnati, you have not registered? I am marking people even though they haven't registered. Why can't Martin Pegu, you are in the mix somewhere. Esther Udache Wellington, you are in the mix somewhere. Alfred Meza, I see you there on the Joy Marketing team. Malik says, where's the captain? Udote ni Udote. Oh, I love this record. Mr. Kuma from Ashaiman, Lebanon. Raymond is in Croydon. Oh, it's Ransmond. Thank you, my brother. Wakudanzu, you are in Doina. Kwami Akoto Adeso, a student. Well, for me, that is beautiful. Once a brother, always a brother, Alfred. That's it, Eugenia has represented. Kokomante Kaneshi Awudamayan State, there you are. And Yunyam will be dancing to the tune. Her mom will have the strict marking screen telling me how to pronounce words, speak up properly. Producer one, if I don't stop the roll call now, my son is going to eat me up. We start the way we start. Until the lands have their own historians. Of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know, I'll say that again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao, the fourth chief of the Little Republic of Akwemu Edumasa. Indeed, probably the only place I'll be contesting for presidency. The Little Republic of Akwemu Edumasa have a very, no time limit in my presidency there, so far as I behave. Another beautiful Monday is here with us, and we thank the Almighty God for giving us this day to be able to perform our all-important ritual. A ritual I call That's My Opinion. And our topic today is politics of insults. Politics of insults. Now I'll try and keep my pitch short so that we can deal with this issue of politics of insult, because I know each and every one of us has got a thing or two to say about it. But first, let me take you back a little bit. I have been doing this show, That's My Opinion, once a week since 2006. Yes, 2006. And it's been right here on Joy 99.7 FM since 2012. So together that's like 14 years in total. The same format. I pick up a topic, read around it, find an angle that's interesting enough, take a stand and stand my ground on it. Most of the time I come, I deliver my monologue as I'm doing now, and then after I get to the phone so that we can all debate on the issue that I brought forth. Folks, apart from sports, or should I say football, maybe entertainment, I talk about everything. And the reason why I don't talk about football entertainment is because it didn't football. So sometimes I really feel bad, because I know football would have been such an engaging thing that we could bring about and talk about some coach who didn't do well or did well, something. But I just have no clue the beginning or the end of football. And that, this is probably the third time I'm apologizing to you, my listeners, for not bringing issues about football. Maybe entertainment too. But other than that, I talk about everything and anything. Islam, Christianity, tradition, politics, social stuff, education, even witches have been on the bill. Even witches have been on the bill. Folks, after my delivery, we all engage in a civil debate as to whether you agree with me or not, or if you want to add to what I said, take some out. Sometimes too you disagree with me, but that's the beauty of this ritual. And we have very respectable people who tune in and contribute. Now let me say this to your credit. Yes, this is to you. Now I've been told many times by credible producers who have call-in shows, and they say that, Nana, I wish I had the type of callers you get on your show. Yes, I wish we had the type of callers you have on your show. And I think it's a great compliment to you out there. Really great compliment. And I am chuffed, folks, to have you. I'm chuffed to have you. Soon I will give out a number, right? And for those of you who want to be on like a reminder list, so that every Monday or so, when we blast out the reminder, you can also get it. We have quite a number of them, but not all of you are on this. We'll give out a number. You WhatsApp it, Abiku will just save it, and then just purely to just remind you that tune in, or this is the topic coming on Monday. So nobody gets cheated. There's a lot of people on the club now. Folks, why this history, you may ask? Last week I did a show called Ansah Kwao for President. Last week's show was Ansah Kwao for President. To generate excitement, I actually had a poster made with me posing in my nice clothes, looking quite presidential. Ansah Kwao for President. The change maker was written underneath, and the motto was planting for the next generation. Then I put a note, or if I should say a disclaimer. If I were to be running for president, there was a note. If I were to be running for president. It was all for our show. That's my opinion, which we do every Monday. Our ritual, if I may call it. I said if I were to be running as an independent candidate, this would have been my message. Folks, almost all the policies I read out on the show shows we have done before. They are my views which I strongly believe would benefit us as a nation, and as a citizen think I'm entitled to. I have not hidden them. And I can strongly say that most people who listen to this show are on a similar frequency. I can strongly say that most of my listeners, most of the callers are on a similar frequency. But the fact that I said Ansah Kwao for president, the insults began. The attacks began. Calls to my poor wife. Oh dear. She hasn't had rest. She has not had rest. My aunties have called me. Some close friends have called me. Funny enough, I never called, they never called me directly. But I am deeply saddened. The same show, the same host, the same station, the same issues I have expressed many times. But the title, Ansah Kwao for president, means that he's now ready for us to insult him. Even with the disclaimer that says, if I were to be running for president. But as usual, there's a growing number who won't read or don't read. But I thought if insult was going to be your hobby, at least read to know how or what your insults would be directed at. I said my first policy was to slow down the growth of the population in order to achieve social equity. Well. Many insulted me for that. In fact, most of the insults were as a result of that statement. Because somehow the insult professionals read that I was going to decrease population. Hello? Decrease. How? When it was there, slow down population growth. So it started. Stupid fool. You are a curse to Africa. You have no sense in your head. This guy has never made any sense. Another one says, I always knew there was something wrong with him upstairs. Now it's getting worse. I mean, there was a misquoting on Facebook, a lady who added my wife into the fold. I don't blame him. It's Gifty Auntie that's got married him and has got into his head. Folks, just the title. Just the title. I'm sure if I had done the same show but called it Thinking Aloud, the insult would have been much less of you. But folks, that's just me, the little republic of Odumasan's president. How about the high office of the president of the nation? These same young folks will rain down insults in a language that I can't even repeat here, regardless of age, status, or rank. So far as you are vying for a national office, then somehow you have given a license to be insulted. The lucky ones are insulted alone. I mean, if you are lucky, they just insult you. That's why you're very lucky. If not, your immediate family is thrown into the mix. Before the show, today's show, I asked if good and knowledgeable people were staying away from national service for fear of insults. I got many responses, all saying that yes, it's very true. Some gave examples of people they knew who could be of great help to Ghana, but for some small girl or boy sitting somewhere to insult him or her, no thanks, let me be. Today I'm trying hard not to mention names, but formidable people responded. And I can tell you how deeply worried they were all, they were all aware. They were very, very worried. How scary the situation is as to where we are heading. Is this it, or the worst is yet to come? Folks, people are asking if this is it, or if the worst is yet to come. Now, I don't know if social media has made it worse, or if it's just showing our true colors. Because the little we know of our history tells us that Kwame Nkrumah did not have it easy at all. He was vilified. People even jubilated at his death. Kwame Nkrumah or Tigini Wichabe, there were songs. Tigini Wichabe. So it did not start today. But I'm not sure of the age group then who were, I don't know, it was the same age group as it is today. But then this culture has been with us. Folks, could it be the fear of winner takes all culture in our politics that suddenly turns us into these wild creatures? What is it that triggers the insult or gives us the right to? These days, even the traditional circles, we are seeing it creeping in. Though not as much as the political arena, but it's creeping in. That's why I think that it may actually be getting worse. I think sometimes we in the media enjoy the insult banters on our shows. We actually pair politicians who are likely to fight. And if you're lucky and they do, we get ratings. And if you get ratings, the corporate guys rush in to sponsor. So indirectly, we are making money out of the insults, so let the insults flow. Folks, we may have also contributed and encouraged it too. As for the politicians, they have put in too much money. The party spend way too much money. So it could be the reasons for their behavior. It's a do or die. Folks, but I mean, why would someone pay to be given a position? Why would someone spend more money than what is known to be earned as a salary in the office they are vying for? Think about it. Somebody is vying for an office. He's going to earn, let's say, 10,000 in the period and pays like 50,000 to get that job. Think about it. Those of you who are insulting, just pause and think about it. That the person you are insulting for is literally spending millions to go and earn thousands as a salary. But these characters who are just there, whose life don't really change regardless of who's governing, what really induces the insults? Is it just love for a party? Or is it that the floodgates are open, so, well, let's backing and insult? Folks, some say they are paid to lurk around the net, social media, and just insult. If it is so, it is bad. But somehow, I feel a bit better. Let me repeat, folks. Some say these guys who are just insulting everybody on social media are literally being paid to go around on social media to pay. And I said, if it is so, it is bad. But somehow, I feel a bit better. Because if these young guys are just everyday people with so much venom, so much hatred and so much disgusting language, then I'm worried it's dangerous. If it's just, like my son Abeku here, who wakes up every morning with so much anger just to insult any adult purely because they decided to run for an MP or for a high office, that would be too dangerous. One of the respondents, Dr. Letitia Apia from the National Population Council, she responded. She said, I don't agree with you. I don't fear the insults, but I fear the silence of the good ones. I don't fear the insults, but I fear the silence of the good ones. There were a couple of more responses along those lines. However, folks, a great majority thought they'd rather stay in their corner. Let me just stay in my corner. A great majority said, no, Charlie, it's not worth my while. I'm knowledgeable, I've got exposure, experience, I can help maybe in the transportation, in engineering sector, I can offer consultancy, whatever it is. But for this insult today, Charlie, let me just stay in my corner. Now that should be a matter for concern as a nation. As for ideology, folks, it's in the gutter. I don't know why we are so divided and separate, because whichever party comes into power is the same social intervention, KV, IP, street light, road, the same social intervention. Now, nobody comes with a space technology, nobody comes with some super duper army, nothing. The same road, hospital, toilet, street light, the same problem. Hope I've come to Odumasa today, the same thing. I need my hospital revamped, I need roads. I don't know if there's any other district that wants, a telescope to see the moon. Maybe you can call us and tell us. Maybe you have like really peculiar problems where you want a rocket to, go and see Mars. Other than that, it is road, hospital, toilet, I don't know. So what's the big division? So as for the ideology, dear folks, maybe somebody's here to sell it to me. But yes, by all means, folks, let's scrutinize the ability of the ones who want to lead. His or her beliefs, what they stand for, their tax records, their commitment, their passion. But it seems we don't care about all that. It's more about, how much are they giving out? The more they give out, the more we shall vote. In fact, if they give out even more, then we shall insult anybody that stands against. So folks, I am really stuck on this one. Normally, I, have a position stick and have some psychological analysis, but this one I'm stuck. If so many good people are staying away for fear of insults, then who are we getting to lead us? If just a radio show title could generate so much insults, then together we must think through and rescue the future. My name is Ansah Kwao, and I am not standing for president. Moment, the number you want is 0302 216 541. 0302 216 541. So who's my first caller?
Hello?
Hello, who's my first caller?
Yeah, it is Francis from Japan.
Francis, let me hear you.
Yes, Nana, thank you very much for this.
Mm-hmm.
And number one is that some ways that are not acceptable for elderly are now assumed to be acceptable for society, in the society. That's number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, the elderly, especially talking about this, they must be firm and honest, so that they must be honored for their fairness and honesty. Mm-hmm. So anytime they talk, we know that they are saying the right thing. And the young ones should regard certain things, certain words, certain statements, certain utterances as not good for the public and the elderly. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much, Francis. Edward is on the line, and we'll go to Edward. Good evening, Edward.
Hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
Nana, God really bless you for such a person you are. The kind of topics you always bring on board, especially our preparedness towards this general election. Nana, yesterday I was there and I saw a certain group, like they've created a group, and then they added my name. And I went to the option to check the group admin. When I got there, I saw 10 people serving as group administrators. So I decided to cancel the group and tell the main admin that, please, there is an error. Now, as soon as I just said this on the platform, come and see insult.
Wow.
Everyone is insulting me. Then I just ask, why are you insulting? Are we not there to express ourselves? And if something is not going well, are we not there to say this is not going well, so we must do what is right? In fact, this kind of insult in our political system must get to its end. And then let's have a peaceful country and practice a very nice democracy. Thank you, Nana.
Thank you too. Thank you too. Boutros Andy is on the line. Hello, Boutros.
Yeah, Nana.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Yeah. I just want to make a brief comment here on the subject matter. Well, I think that Nana, as a country, our leaders, the kind of leaders that we have, mayors, we the Ghanaians. So if as a people we are thieves, our leaders too are thieves. If we like insulting, our leaders too are also very insulting. But the issue is, how are we going to solve this issue? Because if you live in a country which is so corrupt, when I say so corrupt, it's imperative. How do you do what is right? Because if you attempt to do what is right, you are going to pay a very huge price for doing it. So how do we correct them? In recent times, what have we seen in our political things? The lies, the falsehoods, and all kinds of things that people just do. Because if, for example, we sit here, and you come and tell me that in Peshiyu also, you have built 500 houses, units, and people go there, and empirically you have not done same. What are you telling us? We the ordinary folks. So it kind of embodies you to do what is wrong. So this is the problem. I think that if you are going to solve this problem, the whole society must change, which I really have I really doubt.
Thank you very much. I got David on the line. Good evening, David.
Good evening, Nana.
Yeah.
Nana, great show, okay?
Thank you.
I've been listening to you all the time, but I decided to call today.
I'm grateful.
Yeah, this has been my worry for some time. I have this friend who is a legal practitioner. We're very good friends. And most of the time we have been having conversation like how to put our constituency together, how to put things together. And all those ideas are great. But one day he called me and said, Dave, listen, I don't want to do this anymore. The moment I get into politics, my wife, my own entire family, listen, it's very disgusting. So I was with my elder brother, I was like, what will make an upcoming youth or the generation today get into politics? If it's not the money, listen, nobody want to get into it because you have in your life everything, you understand? The way you try and get into it, you see all sort of insults, and I think it's not cool. And kids are listening. You see people, older folks on radio, and listen, the words that they use to each other is not cool. And the kids are listening, so they think it's cool, so they might use it on the other folks as well.
Thank you very much. Nana Ansah Kwao the fourth. I am surprised you are surprised. This is the nation where reviews are understood as termination just for political expediency. The insult does not just deter people from public service but also prevent diversity in ideas and opinions. Something must be done to these cowards hiding behind social media to insult anybody. It's actually getting worse. Lord have mercy. Udote has registered. Malik, did you get that? But Kofi is on the line. Hello, Kofi.
Yeah, Nana, how are you?
I'm very good, Kofi.
Yes. Let me be a philosopher here.
I need one.
Yes, of course. I mean, if you watch our media landscape, political landscape, I mean, the insults are not going to go away. It is going to intensify. It is going to increase because it is right from the top. The politicians insult themselves. The clergy, they don't call them to order. Nobody calls the elderly. And who do the children look up to? It is the elderly, right? So if people say you are incompetent, you are ignorant, you are this, you are that, it doesn't make sense, they use all kinds of words, their children will learn from it. You come to our communities, children are insulting. They insult, they play. When they are playing, they say so many words, kwasia here and there. And those words, you say it's not radio friendly, but it's being used. Even families, parents use it.
husband and wife will be fighting and they insult each other. So I think that until we tackle the root causes, these things are not going to go anywhere. But they would keep blaming the population, the other people. I don't know how they see people on social media or people. If you pay your tax, you are paying your taxes, and the person is lying to you. The person is lying to you. What do you expect the taxpayer to do? He will insult you, and when somebody lies to you, the person is insulting you. If you go and then you are at a political campaign, it doesn't mean you should lie, and then you say, I've done this project, that project, and the people live in that community, and the project is not there. You are insulting them. So what do you expect? So I think that you ought to do a show to call the politicians to order. That is the only way that we can get this in order, because a philosopher once said, a very intelligent person wrote, leadership is cause, C-A-U-S-E. Everything else is effect.
Thank you very much. We're going all the way to USA, and Kobna is there. Ojam, good evening.
Hello, Nana. Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm very well.
Hey, Nana, I sympathize with you that they had to bring in your wife, and Mrs. Auntie, into this. But this is a problem. You know, politics in Ghana has become very lucrative, and they want to protect their territories. Like it's like they've surrounded a boundary between MPP and NDC, and nobody else can compete. Nobody else needs to come in. But they've forgotten that Ghana is a multi-party democracy, and you are overqualified to be president. Most of these politicians are unethical, so they think everyone else is unethical. This is a problem, Nana. Don't cut me. This is a problem. The problem is that, you know, these politicians are unduly influencing the electorate, and we don't have an ethical attorney general who can put his feet on the ground and say, hey, listen, this is unethical, we don't need to do this, let me put in some rules and regulations that is going to regulate our campaigning. They've not done that. And this is the last point I will make. When you look at other youth in UK, United States, Europe, all these kids coming from the university, they have a passion to go and volunteer in government for a few years and then go back into the private sector and make money. Now the youth are rather going into government, and they believe that's where the money is. So the stakes are high. The stakes are high. And that's the problem. And if we can get a very ethical attorney general.
No, the attorney general bit, maybe legally, you know, because some of the things which are culturally wrong are not legally wrong. I mean, so maybe we now have to somehow, I don't know, make new laws for it. So the attorney general bit, no. But yes, I agree that, you know, people go and do research for political parties. Just go and gather data for political parties, maybe 3-4 years, and then move on. But here, you know, it's like you're going into politics, and the main thing is that Charlie Mikoa, Benyesika. Peter, please on the line. Peter.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Charlie, you are perfect. You are perfect. I tell you, if you want to do comparison, you can see how far and brilliant you are, dear sir. You said something that really touched my heart. You said together we must seek through and rescue the nation. And that is the fact. We always say this, that leadership by example. Having said this, on one of the sister stations this evening, one of the leaders in government, that is the Deputy General Secretary for NPP, a New Patriotic Party, he did not insult per se, but I think he was being granted interview, and the attack and his response to the issue were even more than an insult. And our leaders always forget that we have people who listen to them, we have people who learn from them, we have children that we being the parents always ask to sit behind TV, to sit behind radio, especially we the children, the parents whose children are doing political science, and listen to these people so that they can also learn out of this. So we have a whole lot, a very long way to go, my brother. Today, politicians are using state resources at the expense of the poor. to organize campaigns, to organize programs, to claim projects that they are doing or they have not done, and they said they are doing. What is all this? Me, I know today, my friend, my brother, any time that you want to, come out, okay, show any interest in any position, I will be the first person. I will be the first person to rally behind you.
Thank you very much. Just rally behind me here. We'll share ideas and hopefully, to land on some years that will listen. I'm still building my little Republic of Edumas. I haven't achieved that goal yet, but I'm still, striving hard to see if I can do it. Nee is on the line. Hello, Nee.
Hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, Nana, thank you very much for the good work you're doing. I think there's this saying in Ghana where they say that Onupa which means that we say that we don't say an elderly person is telling lies, but he's just joking or something. But the whole issue, what I think is the problem is that, look, now our elderly people are just blatantly lying. They can go and sit on radio, stand on platforms, go to wherever, and then they just lie. And I feel the populace, the elderly people are just feeling helpless. And the issue is that when somebody becomes helpless, maybe the only choice that they have is to probably insult. So I think that right now our elderly people have just let us down. They just sit down, they go and lie, and then people just don't know what to do, but just to probably burst out with insults. It's not the best, but to an extent, I would say that some of them actually do deserve the kind of insult that they get. But that is my take on it.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Nana. I just blocked about 4 of my friends yesterday on Facebook for consistently insulting the elderly and peers online. I can't tolerate it anymore. This is Samson. But Henry is on the line. Hello, Henry.
Good evening, Nana.
Good evening, Henry.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, so sorry for, the insult you suffered at the hands of people. This is what our society is turning into in the name of social media. But I'm thinking that we should be focusing a lot on the solutions and trying to get to deal with this cancer that is seriously growing in our society.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned one of them, that has to do with the winner takes all. It looks like people feel that if my opponent wins, he gets to take all for the next 4 years or for the next 8 years or whatever, and I'm left with nothing. And so whatever it is that I have to do, whether it is good or not, I have to do so that I can also win and get people to believe what I'm saying. So I can also win. I think we need to take a look at this winner take all thing. And then secondly, too, is my last point, the family system must also be looked at. All these people who are insulting elders also have elders in their family. So I'm wondering whether their uncles and aunties and mothers and fathers hear them insult other elderly people and they don't do anything. That's food for thought. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in and even going further to call. I really appreciate that. This message really came to the fourth. The insults really came to the fourth with the democratic rule winner takes all syndrome. Dirty party politics create unnecessary enmity among citizens. We should be civil and be able to agree to disagree. However, because many view going into politics as a means to acquire wealth, the focus generates survival of the fittest battle. Why are positions being bought? Who is monitoring political party funding? The concept of ideology is now lost in party politics. Ajimai is on the line. Hello, Ajimai.
Good evening. I hope you're doing well.
I'm good, my brother.
And it's a good topic. And in this situation, however, the wake up, they say politics is a dirty game. Why should we elect somebody to be our leader and you call that game dirty just because we don't want to be disciplined? What are you teaching our children? I want the youth to tell the big men that I don't want to fool myself for you, so I cannot go and insult so that I'll be a bad person or I'm not growing to be a responsible citizen. If you are able to do that, they will not give us some coins to go and insult. And as we say, empty barrels make most noise. They insult because they see themselves not qualified, and they see themselves not having enough in them to govern. That's why when they come on power, they fail us. So we they used to advise ourselves not to be used as a stepping stone. God bless you, Nana.
God bless you too. This is another one from a very senior and respectable citizen. Let me withhold the name. He says, well, it may not be for the fear of insult as such. No one has ever achieved any good thing without facing obstacles, undue contention, insult, undermining, and all the other negatives that have become our drawbacks as a nation. So let me put it this way. There are people of knowledge who don't necessarily fear insult, yet would not engage in active politics because they find the terrain filled with destructive energy of all forms, thievery, dishonesty, lack of respect, and downright wickedness without the motive to serve and sacrifice for the good of society. It's a huge subject matter. But on the phone is Jifa. Hello, Jifa. Oh, the line dropped. Hello, sorry. Politics of insults, it's the topic today, and I'm really lost. I don't have any solution. I just think it's one of the things that we really need to come together. Somebody have mentioned the clergy, maybe the House of Chiefs. These are people that are revered in the society, even though these days sometimes the clergy, you get the unscrupulous ones, saying and doing really unclergified things on air. But we need to come together to rescue our future, because where anybody who thinks, oh look, I have a doctorate degree in this, or I have an exposure in this, and therefore I can help on a national level, then thank you. And attempt. Yawa is on the line. Hello, Yawa.
Hello. Good evening, Nana.
Good evening, Yawa.
Nana, I fear for the future. I fear for our children. Because just because of social media, somebody you would pass out as your child can just insult you just because of politics. All they need to know is to know that you are called a machine. Then that is it. Then you'll be insulted. Your inbox will be full of insults. Now, how are our children going to be? God give us life to see how our children will turn out. We are descending so low. It is a shame. Mama, it is a shame.
Yeah.
So how can you know but now we can just insult and insult your parents if they don't even know. Is that how politics is done everywhere? Or this is just Ghana? Mama, it is sickening.
It is very sickening. I don't know why, there can't be any dissenting view. So I say, look, I'll slow down population growth. Let's say you don't understand it. Maybe you find it so weird because you've never ever heard it in political discourse that, why you... So, I mean, I think the first thing to do is, Anana, please, maybe explain to me why you think slowing down population growth has got anything to do with the development. Debbie. Stupid fool. You are cursed to Africa. I always knew this guy was mad. It's just now this is going to be just... But you say, why? Why? And this isn't just a radio show. Amateur here with a footnote. So as a young man, you didn't even read. You're not embarrassed that you did not read the footnote. No. But you go out there and insult. Maybe it's a radio show. But those who are making this as a living to sacrifice and build this nation. My goodness. Kofi's on the line. Hello, Kofi.
Where I was brought up, it's a serious offense to even tell an elderly person you are a liar. That is where I was brought up. And if my problem now is that if party A, Nana, your party, says you do A, B, C, my party says I'll do XYZ,
it doesn't take insult for me to tell the populace that Nana's party cannot do ABC, or Nana's party has not done ABC. You see, Nana, my solution, I wish the media will blacklist any politician who use insult to attack their opponent. That is my solution. Because now sometimes I get too much worried because the media now find interest in publishing negative issues, and that is why politicians who are using insult are now getting more media attention than those who are doing decent politics. I decided to be a politician in 2002. Later, I decided I will not go again, because looking at young people, very young, and who has not even achieved nothing in their lives, insulting people who have got, I don't know.
I understand your sentiments exactly. I always fear whether my decision to become a politician one day will end up in this bloody politics of insult. I'm always worried whether the fight for this so-called democracy was meant to end up in the body of politics of insult. We are now developing the country, and we must understand that whatever we do, there is going to be individual differences between us. We must learn how to tolerate all views without returning back to them with insult, else we are not going to get everyone on board to build this country. The brain behind the nation development is we build together. Edward Akwete Kwe in Kasowa. Sule is on the line. Hello, Sule.
Yes, please. Nana, good evening.
Good evening.
You are doing a great job. And may the good Lord richly bless you.
Amen.
Yes. Nana, one question I want to ask is that does it mean we don't have a limitation to the use of social media in our country? It's one thing I don't understand. Because if citizens would just pick up their phone, type information just against those in power or those governing us would also just pick up their phones or pick up microphones and talk anyhow against each other, and there is nobody doing anything about it. There is no law which is implementing a limitation that, look, this is the extent to which you are to go, and that is the extent you are to stop. What is going on, Nana? Who is to come and save Ghana? Everybody's like, yes, I am a graduate. Everybody's like, I am a chief. Everybody's like, look, I have my money, so I can do anything I like, and there is no law that Ghanaians are abiding by. And we are the same people. We go to social media. At least we should learn from the way other countries are using their social media platform.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's have well, it's serious, but so this is one of the comments. Yeah, this is I'll see if I mention the name. I'll do a little vote round if I mention the name. This guy thinks he has arrived just because he's married to Gifty Auntie. The impudence. I don't blame him, la. I blame Gifty Auntie calling herself for Henry and making his head big. Nobody even knows the village he rules. Wonder what she could have done if she was married to Asante. This one wants to be what? Laughable. Radio show. Now this Henry thing has become an issue. Let me see if I can try and clear it. Like, see, before I married my wife, she had built her brand, Gifty Auntie brand. So Gifty Auntie had become more of a brand than a name. So she wasn't going to change and become Mrs. Sinti Misa. So she becomes within a brand Kakrao. Kwela House Kweki Sinti Misa. So I have a sort of a brand name. Anyway, so the issue was that she wouldn't be able to change her name. I mean, no problem. You can keep your Gifty Auntie. But since I'm on Henry, you will let everybody know that you're Henry Gifty Auntie. That's all. It's not because I'm a Asante Hene, I'm a Komi Hene, No. I am still married to my son Hene. and my wife married to me will be a Dumasa Hene. I mean, whether we like it or maybe it's the tree that, you know, I mean, but it's just as simple as that. You know, there was an issue of name change thing, which, you know, she couldn't change her name. I compromised as a modern man, I understood. But hey, you would let everybody know that why are you going to be? It's your Hene gift, auntie. It's your no, I don't know why. It's antiquity. Yes, send me something. Keep your socks up. But I think he says I shouldn't mention your name. If I need anything, I'm sorry.
But I am feeling.
If you know, yes, I will probably be doing exactly what we are trying to stop. You know, but that's the thing. I mean, what changed? You know, what changed? This is a show I've done year in, year out, year in. Everything I said last week, I'd said before. The only thing that changed was that I said, if I were to be running for president, then boom, and it's idea in the we are killing good people, and we must come together to save this nation. Folks, my name is Ansah Kwao. Thank you for listening, and I say that until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting will always glorify the hunter. Mr. Bube is right here, and then Sammy Forcing is up next. Don't you even touch that dial.